Foraging for wild edibles can be a rewarding and enjoyable experience, but it's important to take safety precautions and practice sustainable harvesting to ensure both your safety and the health of the environment. Here's how to forage for wild edibles responsibly. Learn to identify edible plants. Before you start foraging, educate yourself about the wild edibles in your area. Invest in field guides, attend foraging workshops, and join local foraging groups to learn how to identify edible plants, mushrooms, berries, and other wild foods. Take note of key identification features, such as leaf shape, color, texture, and growth habitat. Know what to avoid. Familiarize yourself with common poisonous plants and lookalikes that may be present in your foraging area. Avoid harvesting any plant or mushroom unless you are absolutely certain of its identity and edibility. When in doubt, err on the side of caution and do not consume unknown wild foods. Forage in safe locations. Choose foraging locations that are free from contamination by pollutants, pesticides, herbicides, and other environmental toxins. Avoid foraging near roadsides, industrial sites, agricultural fields, and areas with heavy pollution or chemical runoff. Opt for pristine natural habitats such as forests, meadows, and coastal areas where wild edibles are less likely to be contaminated. Respect legal regulations. Familiarize yourself with local laws, regulations, and permits related to foraging for wild edibles in your area. Some public lands may have restrictions or prohibitions on foraging, so be sure to obtain any necessary permits or permissions before harvesting wild foods. Practice sustainable harvesting. Harvest wild edibles in a sustainable manner to ensure the long-term health and viability of wild plant populations. Avoid over-harvesting by taking only what you need and leaving enough plants behind to reproduce and regenerate. Harvest from abundant species rather than rare or endangered ones, and never take more than 10 to 20% of the plants in a given area. Leave no trace. Practice leave no trace principles when foraging in natural areas. Minimize your impact on the environment by staying on designated trails, avoiding trampling delicate vegetation, and refraining from disturbing wildlife or their habitats. Pack out any trash or litter, and leave the foraging site in the same condition you found it. Use proper tools and equipment. Bring along the necessary tools and equipment for safe and efficient foraging, such as a sharp knife or scissors for harvesting, a basket or bag for collecting, and gloves for handling prickly or thorny plants. Use caution when handling sharp tools and be mindful of potential hazards such as poison ivy or stinging nettles. Be mindful of seasonality. Pay attention to the seasonal availability of wild edibles and harvest them at the peak of freshness and flavor. Different plants and mushrooms may be in season at different times of the year, so plan your foraging trips accordingly and consult seasonal foraging guides for guidance. Wash and prepare wild foods properly. Thoroughly wash and inspect wild edibles before consuming them to remove any dirt, debris, or contaminants. Cook wild mushrooms and certain wild greens to neutralize toxins and improve digestibility. Start with small quantities of wild foods to test for any adverse reactions or allergies before consuming larger amounts. Share knowledge and respect nature. Share your foraging knowledge and experiences with others in a responsible and respectful manner. Practice gratitude and reverence for the natural world and the gifts it provides, and cultivate a deeper connection to the land and its biodiversity through mindful foraging practices. By following these safety precautions and sustainable harvesting practices, you can enjoy the bounty of wild edibles while minimizing your impact on the environment and ensuring a safe and enjoyable foraging experience.